I'm Bridget Phetasy, and this is your dumpster fire for the weeks of November 22nd to December 5th.
And the unicorns dance while the world burns, world burns.
Before we get going, I would like to thank you all for your manifestos after last week's. Sam has attracted quite a rowdy crowd here to Dumpster Fire, and we are happy to have you.
Welcome.
But maybe spare us the manifestos.
Keep them coming.
People, I'm busy. I don't have time to read manifestos all day.
Sam never even sees them because we don't want to give them to her in order to feed her crazy.
She's going to see them from now on.
Find me on Twitter.
Send your manifestos to weeklydumpsterfire@gmail.com because that is the email address Sam sees.
Or we can just post her home address and you can show up at her door.
I'd prefer not.
Touch my bells and buttons, like, subscribe, and comment. Tell your friends. We're here for you during the Pre-Mageddon, skipping into the apocalypse. Look, we have Dumpster Fire merch. We've had
baby.
it, but now I actually have it in my possession.
Mugs, and Karen's wearing a Dumpster Fire sweatshirt.
Which has this logo on the back. Dumpster Fire merch. You can get that at BridgetPhetasy.com. Pause this, go buy some merch, come back. We're going to be waiting for you.
Bridget has the pillow, too. The
pillow is sick.
awesome.
Yeah, I love the pillow.
Troll in Chief. A drunk woman is Trump team's star witness in Michigan.
That poll book? How many registered voters are on there? Do you even know the answer to that?
No, I guess I'm trying to get to the bottom of this here.
Zero. There's zero.
I loved this moment so much because instantly I was reminded of Kitty Sanchez from Arrested Development.
There absolutely will be a margarita in my mouth. Spring break!
We are living in a parody.
Uh-huh.
How is this the person that they're like, this is your star witness, and then in the middle of it, Rudy Giuliani is telling her to simmer down. He's like, oh, simmer down, lady. You might be a little too crazy, even for me.
What about what about the turnout rate? 120%?
Even Rudy feels like a character in Arrested Development.
Yeah.
It all feels like we're just watching a comedy.
Also, just watching the politicians tap dance around how
Blatantly.
odd this witness was.
Yeah.
And just try and be like, okay, well, allow the representative to finish his question. And that
It
was
does
just like,
make me...
But did you see the numbers?
Yeah. Did you see the numbers? It does make me think that the entire presidency has been an elaborate troll.
Mm-hmm.
As we're kind of exiting this, it does seem like this whole thing is like, well, let's see how fucking crazy we can get this shit. They had Sidney Powell, who was out front and center, part of their legal team, and then out of the blue, they tweet, Sidney Powell is not, it was like, never heard of her. They just basically disowned her from the team.
Yeah.
And acted like they'd never had any, after Trump himself tweeted that Sidney Powell was on his legal team and he was proud of this.
right.
It's just been bananas. It's like every day feels like you're taking crazy pills. As we're kind of even filming this, I think there's a rally in Georgia, I believe, and his other lawyer, he hasn't divorced himself yet, Lynn Wood, has been going full crazy and is essentially saying, don't vote for the GOP in the runoff elections in Georgia.
We're not going to go vote on January 5th in another machine made by China. You're not going to fool Georgians again. Why would you go back and vote in another rigged election? For God's sakes, fix it.
I love that Trump is going full psycho bitch on his way out of the White House. And I would expect nothing less, frankly. It's exactly what we expect and deserve of this entire presidency. He is the woman that cuts off a sleeve of every one of your suits when you break up with her. But the back sleeve, so you don't realize it until you go to get to work or a super important meeting, and then you take your suit out and everyone has a sleeve cut off. Not that I've known anyone who's ever done such a thing.
All right. And then moving on to Parade of Morons. We just have a parade of politicians being hypocritical with pandemic messaging.
There's a strong Animal Farm vibe in this portion of the dystopia that has been 2020. We are definitely in the "we pigs are brain workers" portion of the book. That's a quote from Animal Farm. Go reread it and feel the rage boil up inside you when you realize that this is exactly what we're living through. The leaders telling us that we need to obey these decrees and that they're good for us because they know what's better for us, while they go jet off and do whatever the fuck they want. Here's a list of all of the different people who have done fucked up hypocritical things.
San Francisco Mayor London Breed had dinner at the French Laundry as well and banned indoor dining 3 days later.
French Laundry having a great time of it right now. And now they're shut down, ironically.
Uh-huh. LA County Supervisor Sheila Kuhl dined outdoors after voting to ban it.
Not very cool of you, Sheila. Sam's mad.
You will not take my restaurants away.
Hey, it's that restaurant that we love in Santa Monica. It's a good restaurant, to be fair.
It's a good restaurant.
Here's the thing. People keep trying to make the excuse, oh, it was before the actual shutdown went into effect. That doesn't matter. If you're going to get up on a podium and say this is a deadly disease and it's an emergency and our state is in an emergency, and then go out to dinner. The virus isn't waiting until 10 p.m. at night. It's not waiting until 3 days later. It's crazy to act like this is an emergency and then go out and act like it's not an emergency. It just sends completely mixed messages.
Right.
And their apologies and excuses are just so pathetic. Hers was basically like, this is a non-story. Get fucked. I mean, not exactly in those words, but that was the basic feel of it.
The tone. And then we had Austin Mayor Steve Adler travel to Cabo on a private jet as he told Texans to stay home.
This guy, not only did he tweet that before he went to Cabo, he shot the video from Cabo.
Kind of a pre-recorded message. We need to, stay home if you can. This is not the time to relax.
Please stay at home. Sent from my private jet on the way to Saint-Tropez, where I'll be spending Thanksgiving on my yacht. Like, fuck you. That is ridiculous. It's even more offensive that they don't think that these rules apply to them, but that they are somehow above them.
Yeah.
They really just believe that this does not apply to them.
Yeah.
They think that this is for the plebs.
Yeah.
I finally said it right. It's just infuriating to feel like people know what's best for you and that they really do look down on us. There's a very strong sense of elitism in all of this. People always say, why is it always Democrats? The Republicans are hypocrites too, completely different ways. The reason that Democrats come across as bigger hypocrites is because they're the ones shutting their states down. Mostly red states are kind of functioning. So the leaders aren't caught in all of these hypocritical, ridiculous binds because they're not demanding that everybody in their state stay home and shut their business down.
San Jose Mayor Sam Liccardo violated health guidelines over Thanksgiving, attended dinner with members from 5 different households.
I mean, the list goes on and on. Please remember these people when you go to vote. This is the other thing. People will be like, this is outrageous, and then go vote for Newsom again. No, I believe that they should have to resign if they're caught doing this crap. If you're caught violating your own order or mandate or whatever, you should have to resign. I don't think it's out of the question at all to ask these people to follow the rules that they're imposing on us.
Yeah.
At great hardship.
Yeah.
Not so much great hardship to them, clearly.
Denver Mayor Michael Hancock apologizes for traveling over Thanksgiving while urging others not to do so.
Yeah, the funny thing is, I guarantee a lot of these guys' excuses is that, oh, it was on a private jet, so I wasn't exposed to people.
Yeah.
And they can't say it because they know they'll get creamed, but I'm sure in their minds that that's like, oh, it was a private jet, so it's not like I'm interacting with any of these pores. My blood has been boiling. Any of you who follow me on Twitter have probably seen a lot more rage than normal. I have so many issues with hypocrisy, and it's all across the board, and everybody will give me shit for not calling the right out. I do all the time. People who watch the show know this. I also think it's particularly egregious when you're telling people to shut down their businesses and not giving them any relief. This is bullshit. And it pisses me off because I come from a liberal family. I thought the Democrats were the working class party, and they've completely abandoned the working class. I don't understand. Where are the people who are constantly calling out all of the big corporations and like tax the rich? Where are you defending primarily immigrants, primarily people who started small businesses from all of this bullshit tyranny? I don't hear it.
Right. When all the small businesses close and go out of business, that means the corporations on top only get bigger.
Yeah. I'll see people bitching about that and not standing up for those small businesses because somehow if you stand up for a small business, you're like a COVID truthing, non-mask wearing Trump supporter.
Right.
You can still be supportive of small businesses and also say wear masks, wash your hands, social distance, don't be a fucking moron.
Yeah.
It's like the tribalism is making people so stupid. It's infuriating.
And then finally, we had Senator Kelly Loeffler said, Loeffler said, we need someone who understands what it feels like waiting on that paycheck. She's worth $500 million.
Yeah. They just posted pictures of the house she bought in Georgia, and I'm like, yes, I'm sure she can relate to the average person waiting on their paycheck. Her pool has depictions of like all of world history.
Oh my God.
Is there any part of your pool that has the French Revolution represented? Because you might want to study that. That might be the part of the pool you want to pay attention to because it's coming for you, lady. The class wars are here.
And then in California, Gavin Newsom celebrates a Small Business Saturday while actively smothering them.
Yeah, this is insane. And I thought that this was a parody account because Gavin Newsom tweeted about supporting small businesses after he shut down outdoor dining in California. And here's the thing. Yes, lots of people are dying of COVID. I understand that this is actually happening, but there is no science supporting that these outbreaks are starting at outdoor dining restaurants. How come you can be allowed in Costco when it's packed and you can't go to a small little local bodega? You can't go to a small local store. This seems, again, like an unfair deal for people who have corporations can handle this. There's no policies that make sense. They shut down the playgrounds, but they didn't shut down the playgrounds at schools. And guess who generally goes to playgrounds? Kids who don't have yards. Not everybody has a yard in California. Mm-hmm. It's usually the lower income families that hurt from this shit. They did a study and that all of the high income earners are actually doing better. And 20% of the low income earners are getting crushed.
Yeah.
There are less jobs for them. The AB5 in California is crushing them. Then you have the lockdown. There's no gig economy. This is not fair to the wrong people. Here's what makes me crazy. I don't understand how anyone can look at Gavin Newsom and Andrew Cuomo and Trump and not see them all as the same person.
Mm-hmm.
Like, that makes no sense to me. If you aren't purple by the end of the past 4 years or the end of this past year in particular, I don't understand what you're paying attention to.
Yeah.
Because all of our leaders are hypocrites and they all are on the same team and they're more than happy to keep us divided so that we can all fight amongst ourselves while they dick around in their fucking mansions. The only reason this pandemic went so horribly wrong in this country is because every one of our leaders, top to bottom, from the federal to the state to the local governments, looked at this as a way to grab more power before they looked at it as an emergency that they needed to deal with. Mm-hmm. That was why shit went so sideways.
Yeah.
We should all be mad at all of them. It makes me, I get like goosebumps. I get so mad at this shit. And then it's infuriating to see everybody fighting with each other.
Mm-hmm.
Stop fighting with each other. We're all getting fucked.
Yeah.
All of us.
Yeah.
All of us, like working class, low income, middle class, we're all, if you are anywhere not in the millionaire segment, you are bending over and taking it up the butt right now, no matter where you live.
Well, this is perfectly highlighted by the LA bar owner who was, there was this video and she was outraged over an outdoor dining area for a movie company approved by Mayor Garcetti set up directly across from her outdoor dining area, which was shut down.
So this is my place, the Pineapple Hill Grill and Saloon. Mayor Garcetti has approved being set up for a movie company. They have not given us money and they have shut us down. We cannot survive. Tell me that this is dangerous, but right next to me as a slap in my face, this is safe. This is dangerous.
Yeah, this video went viral, as it should have. It made me emotional to even watch, as it should, if you have any kind of heart or soul, watching these people who are fighting for their livelihoods. I feel like the people who are making these rules have never run a business of their own, a small business. They don't understand. And then the people who are saying, oh, you need to stay home, they're writing think pieces and getting paid to be home. Not everybody can stay at home. When I was waiting tables, I used to laugh at how often my friends who had jobs would text me all day long, and they'd be like, "Where are you?" I'm like, "I'm fucking working."
Yeah.
Like, I work a job where I can't be texting and tweeting all day long. I have to be on my feet, present in the job. Those are the jobs that are getting crushed right now, or they're gone completely. It's crazy because there's no real science to back any of this stuff up. So show us the science, party of science. It's not
Right, that these outdoor dining areas are what's spreading the
Yeah,
virus.
and then they say that the science is in a CDC study that was for indoor dining.
right.
Right.
And it's from March.
Yeah.
And
So
all
they're
these-
taking indoor dining and using it for outdoor dining.
All
Yeah.
these restaurants spent money to comply. They reduced their capacity. They put up plexiglass where they needed to, and people are sitting outside. It's the small groups and small gatherings
Yeah.
of people going over to their friend's house when not wearing masks. That's what's transmitting
This is
it.
all from the election. I guarantee, and Thanksgiving and election parties, Thanksgiving, Halloween, which was kind of forced inside because nobody could go trick or treating. All of these kinds of rules force more people inside. People are literally going crazy because they haven't had human fucking contact. People are getting depressed, suicidal, addicted, and then they reach out because they're losing their minds to their friends thinking like, oh, this is my squad or my pod or my whatever you want to call it, and we need to get together just so that we are not, people need to be around other people, and they're going mad, and then they do, thinking it's kind of safe, and that's how the shit's spreading, and I don't blame people. Parents are getting together so that their kids can have some, like, kids are going crazy in this. It's not fair. I don't think it's, we were told 2 weeks. We have receipts here on Dumpster Fire. We were all for the 2 week flattening the curve. And this is one of my biggest regrets, is that I really was naive and stupid enough to believe that that was all they wanted. And now I can't help but feel like everyone who is raging at that time and saying no, they just want to see how much power taken is rarely ceded, like given back. And I was like, no, these are our leaders. They want what's best for us. I'm an idiot. I mean, that has been my biggest lesson in this. And then they wonder why we don't trust institutions, science, or them. Because why would we? But that leads us to the BDE.
The BDE award, Sheriff Bianco of Riverside County calls out Newsom for being a hypocrite and threatening to withhold funding.
The dictatorial attitude toward California residents while dining in luxury, traveling, keeping his business open, and sending his kids to in-person private schools is very telling about his attitude toward California residents, his feelings about the virus, and it is extremely hypocritical.
Sheriff Bianco. We gave all the sheriffs the BD the last one, and this one we're getting specific because he basically called out Newsom for being a dictatorial hypocrite, and that's exactly what we need. It's crazy that these sheriffs need to protect their people from the tyranny of the leaders. This is like the equivalent of a military coup on a state level, you know?
Yeah.
Leaders do not threaten, attempt to intimidate, or cause fear. Bullies do.
Sheriff Bianco for governor, please. Somebody's got to do it.
Yeah.
And then people will be like, oh, I guess sheriffs don't believe in laws. These aren't laws. These are one-man decrees. That's what these are. There was no legislature. Nobody's voted for this. The people who passed the restaurant closing outdoor in LA County, it was 3 county supervisors, and they were advised by an unelected woman who is a medical advisor. California is doing its damnedest to break me, but it won't. Because guys like Sheriff Bianco are standing up for us, the little people.
Fund the police.
Well, moving. Then we have, as if things aren't bad enough, in Get Wrecked China. China has done human experiments to develop super soldiers.
Yeah, we called this. Did they pop up from the seeds? Whatever happened to those seeds China sent us?
They turned into... We'll find out soon.
Yeah, any minute now.
Yeah. There's like a surge of Chinese babies around the country just growing from these seeds.
They're like, oh, there's a weird surge in the Chinese population. And it's like the super soldier seed babies.
In 20 years, we're going to be really fucked.
They're going to be like, well, they were prophets about that too in Mandarin. La Qi Sanhua.
La Qi Xianhuo.
Really knew what they were talking about.
Be like, did you say this? Yes or no?
I'll be like, Latsi Sangwa.
Chip implant.
We were just trying to make people laugh.
What do you know? Nothing. We were joking.
It was a joke. It was a joke.
Who told you?
What access to our files do you have? Agenda 2030. Proof we're living in a simulation. Okay. A mysterious monolith was found in a remote part of Utah. No one knows how it got there. Then, shortly after it was discovered, it disappeared, and a new one reappeared in Romania. Then, a photographer confirmed the one in Utah was taken down by humans. One appeared on Pine Mountain in California, which was also destroyed by racists. There was a video of them being like, Christ is king in this country. We don't want illegal aliens from Mexico or outer space.
Oh, my God.
We don't want illegal aliens from Mexico or outer space.
Christ is king. Christ is king.
How do you can't even write this stuff?
And then the
We
one
don't
in
want
Romania
illegal
disappeared
aliens
too.
from
Yeah.
Mexico or outer space. They're like, they took our jobs. And
Yeah,
it's like,
because those two are
alien-
the same thing.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure the aliens. I'm sure the aliens are coming here to mow our lawns from outer space. That is not why those aliens are coming.
Oh God. Yeah. So this is the monolith.
The truth is out there.
It was the first one was kind of creepy.
Yeah. And that one's been proven to actually have been there for 5 or 6 years.
Didn't hippies destroy it?
You told me that.
Yeah, I think the first one was destroyed by hippies.
That's
I'm pretty
not
sure.
very hippie-like.
No, it is because they didn't all it attracted because some person on Reddit basically figured out where it was and then posted it. So everybody started going to it. It became a tourist attraction kind of overnight. They were trampling. There were 70 cars on this back roads. It's like beautiful, pristine desert, and people were trampling all over because there's no path. And so they destroyed it because they decided that it shouldn't be there anyway.
Wow.
Good for you, hippies. But then it started reappearing. I guess they're like copycat monoliths now.
Yeah. It's like
What?
Yeah. There's a whole thing.
And then the best is that we're such a cynical, over-marketed generation that everyone just assumes. Everyone's like, this is going to turn out to be some Diet Coke ad, isn't it? Or like, this is going to be some, stunt for a Hulu show.
Right. Like a viral marketing campaign
Netflix
for a
is
Hulu
doing
show.
a new
Yeah.
It's actually a viral stunt for Dumpster Fire.
And we're like, oh, wait, it actually was aliens? We totally thought it wasn't.
I love how the aliens are like trying to get through to us to tell us that they're real. And we're like, oh, very funny, Coke.
Yeah.
You think you've got us fooled?
Or like, we don't want no stinking aliens. Go back to your planet.
Go back to where you came
It
from.
is like a South Park episode where the aliens are keep trying to appear to us, and the humans are like, "Oh, very funny."
Mysterious space object hurtling towards Earth turns out to be a space debris. It was a 54-year-old rocket, not an asteroid.
I know. I loved this story. I love that they reverse engineered the trajectory, so they figured out that it may have come from Earth, and it's just another thing that's been hurtling towards Earth. I feel like there've been a lot of close calls. Again, it's like the aliens throwing rocks at us from their spaceship. They're like, "We're real," and we're like, "Whatever, aliens."
The crazy thing to me is it's going to escape Earth's orbit and then go orbit the sun after a certain point in time.
Space is wild.
It's so
man.
weird.
It's wild.
And then a Kazakhstani bodybuilder marries his sex doll after a whirlwind romance.
I love that they call this a whirlwind romance. Like, they met. They instantly had a connection. The funniest thing is just like the expressionlessness of the doll. And then they got married in a real marriage. And he posted a wedding video of it on his Instagram. And there were real people at this wedding, like all excited.
I'm hurting, baby. I'm broken down.
My friend Melissa Monty, she was joking. She's like, find yourself a group of friends who looks as genuinely happy for you when you marry a doll at your wedding video. I don't know if this was like a stunt, if it was for attention, or if this guy is just mentally ill, or if we're supposed to get behind this because we're all pansexual now, or pop, whatever it is.
He identifies as pansexual.
Yeah,
and he was saying...
pansexual is when you love everything, right? Or anything.
I don't know, Bridget.
What's the one where you love the brain? You're attracted to their intellect?
Sapiosexual?
Oh, is that sapiosexual?
God. Well, my favorite part
Clearly, I'm not that.
my favorite part of this
That's what I am.
story
I don't know if that's what it is.
was he met her because he rescued her from unwanted attention in a club. That's how they met.
I just imagine a bunch of like Kazakhstanis jerking off around her, like
trying to have sex with the sex doll.
Yeah, where she's just in a club and they're doing all kinds of. Because there are those videos where they're like, let's take a robot out and see how people treat it, and it's like horrific. And she was one of those, and he's like, dun, 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 I will rescue her.
Yep. And then they fell in love.
And she's like, chivalry isn't dead, but she's just like, chivalry isn't dead.
All right.
So creepy.
Oh, God. Yeah.
That's gross.
But I also want to turn this into like a rom-com or a funny show.
Uh-huh. As always.
As always, this is why you need to make us rich so we can make this stuff, guys. It's not just an idea that dies here in our undisclosed location. This is a good time for me to remind you to like, subscribe, touch my bells and buttons. This is only the beginning for this Phetasy Inc. Empire. Inkpire. This is only the beginning for our Phetasy Inkpire.
For our Phetasy dumpster fire.
Like, how many words can we make up in 1 minute? Fantasy dumpster fire Inkpire. And we can spell pyre, Pyre.
Yes.
We're or are we geniuses? You'll never know. But you will know because you're going to tell your friends to like, subscribe, comment, touch my bells and buttons right now. Sign up now for Phetasy.com. Get involved. Tell your friends. I wanted to feel like I was doing a
Peloton class.
Oh, wait, there's more.
A Peloton class. You are the only person standing in your way of touching that bell and button right now. It is up to you to make us rich.
And what is happening? Dead minks infected with a mutated form of COVID-19 rise from graves after mass culling.
Who had minks getting a mutated form of COVID and starting the zombie apocalypse on their 2020 bingo card? No one. Not even us.
Mm-hmm. Well, the minks actually weren't zombies, which I thought they were from the headline.
I know,
but
all the
apparently they
headlines.
just like surfaced from their graves because of like gas and they were improperly buried or something like that. And then we have Taylor Russo created one of the most cringe videos we've ever seen on TikTok.
Now ready to die, now ready to die. Chip implanted. That video, I've watched it probably 100 times because it's so cringe.
Yeah.
But it's so amazing too. Somebody who shared this video said abolish TikTok. I was like, it's true. But first of all, what religion is it that's like anti-vaxxer, Sam?
Why are you looking at me?
I feel like you would know. You're like, actually, I do.
There are actually some religious exemptions.
Yeah, I know that. It's just very funny that she's
But
like
she
chip
took a very
implanting.
Right. And that like
She took a very Christ-driven.
Yeah, it was a very.
it's not in the fucking Bible that you can't get vaccinated.
Is it though? I feel like I need to read the Bible.
What
to
Bible
make sure.
are you reading, Maggie?
What impressed me was her commitment.
Her acting commitment, but also the best is just how vicious Twitter is in particular and the internet. And they're like, you're gonna go through the trouble of getting fake blood and use a hair tie for handcuffs? Like, come on.
All right. And then in Capitalism Always Wins, AOC is selling her commie sweatshirts for $65.
This is what happens when I write the headlines. They're editorialized.
I love it.
Yes, they are commie sweatshirts. They say tax the rich and drink water and don't be racist. That was a weird one. I don't know where that. I was surprised there was one that didn't say there's no going back to brunch. Come on, AOC. Know your taglines.
Seriously.
Take it from us. You know, she justified the high prices of a $65 sweatshirt by saying it was union wages and made in America. Instead of buying one of the commie sweatshirts from AOC, buy one of our sweatshirts for $60 at BridgetPhetasy.com. And also, hopefully someday they will be American made.
Yeah.
Right now, they're Croatian made.
Support our small business.
Support our small business. And not that commie representative. How is she even allowed to sell this stuff?
Agenda 2030.
All right, in dumpster diving.
What's next? In the dumpster.
Hannity was he just on the show? He was just like, I don't vet the information on this program.
Hannity coming in hot with some dumpster fire energy.
I don't vet the information on this program that I give out. We have always been independent, follow our own path on this show. That's not going to change for me ever.
I was like, hey, Hannity, you're stealing our bit. Hannity's saying the quiet parts out loud. I don't know that he meant to say that or he doesn't know what vet means. I'm pretty sure Hannity's smart enough, but it was a giant Freudian slip, and he was like, I don't vet the stuff on this show. Like,
Yikes.
I suddenly feel very close to Hannity.
Then moving on to a man named Adolf Hitler wins local election in Namibia.
The best part of this story is that his excuse is that his dad didn't know very much about Adolf Hitler's politics. I'm dubious about that claim. But why would you wait this? Why wouldn't you change your name once you learned about Adolf Hitler's politics?
And decided to go into politics.
Yeah. Why wouldn't you say to yourself, oh, this name is fucked up. I didn't know, and neither did my father. And then you change your name. That it seems like a bad excuse to me. I'm not buying it. So there's another Adolf Hitler who's in power now, and we should probably keep an eye on him.
Keep an eye on Namibia. In Breaking Bridget. The erasure of women continues. There were 3 headlines. One in Healthline. Do vulva owners like sex is the wrong question, and here's what you should ask instead. A CNN tweet, individuals with a cervix are now recommended to start cervical cancer screening. And Health Affairs, centering the needs of birthing people during the COVID-19 pandemic.
Fuck you. I mean, vulva owner sounds like something you would rent or lease.
Yeah, it does.
Can I lease a vulva owner? It's like so crazy. And this attempt to try and make things not biological or sex or have any kind of gender, they're making women just down to literally the names of their parts.
They're reducing them to their sex organs or their ability to create, like, give birth.
And erasing women at the same time. The word women. Women! Women! It's the word. Use it. It's like, this is the hill I will die on. And I will die on this hill.
Isn't it like 98 or 99% of vulva owners identify as women anyway? What is the fucking problem?
This is the clown world. This is clown world, clown world. When I sent this to Maggie, she was like, nothing red pills me faster than this shit.
It's true.
It's true. Because it's insanity. And then the same people who will be like, you need to listen to the science about the lockdowns are like, vulva owners. I'm a vulva owner. And writing headlines and defending that, and then they'll get in your messages and tell you that you're being a transphobe or you're being a bigot because you're using the word women or making fun of this insanity, and it is insane. It is insane. Beep. And dumpster fire just gets shut down. Yeah. That's the world we live in, though. You cannot say anything about this shit. Don't stop pushing back against this. I know it's scary. I know you're going to be afraid. I know that they're trying to gaslight you and tell you that this is normal. This is not normal. This is people trying to force you to comply by forced and compelled speech, and it's fucked up, and never stop saying it. And they're also trying to erase women, and it's ridiculous.
Yeah, because how many fucking headlines out there have you seen that say penis owners should really whatever?
Yeah, where are the penis owner headlines, huh? This is the patriarchy so crafty, too.
Yeah.
They're just making women disappear and acting like it's completely normal, nothing to see here.
And if you push back, you're a transphobe.
Yeah, if you push back at all. And call me a TERF. Call me whatever you need to. I don't care. I'm a woman. I'm a woman with woman parts. I'm a vulva-owning woman. Not woman X or whatever. Woman. The word we've used for centuries. It's like we've finally come so far with women's rights, only to end here.
You know how hard many generations of women fought to get to this place? And you're undoing it all!
You're undoing it all! To be cool! To get clout and points on fucking Facebook so you can be a cool mom. I hate you all. CNN! Not like some fucking blog, not Jezebel.
I know. It's mainstreamed. It's maddening.
Here's something to cleanse your palate after that rage fest. The internet is glorious.
Can you go downstairs?
Execute judgment on you, COVID-19!
All right, in Phetasy news.
Walk-ins welcome with Johan Hari. Amazing conversation about depression, addiction, and homelessness, lockdowns. It's so good. Check out our much more stable and nuanced conversations that are happening over at Walk-ins Welcome, the podcast. Please subscribe. It's also right here on YouTube, so give one a listen. I was on Rideshare again. In the season finale. My crazy drunk girl comes back, and as well as I had a piece in Spectator, my monthly column. Please subscribe to the magazine. It's a great magazine. You can subscribe to Phetasy.com, where you get the unedited version of this shit show every single Sunday, so you get it early in case you need more relief. You can go to BridgetPhetasy.com and get some merch and shirts and hoodies and Christmas gifts. We also have limited edition greeting cards. Get those now. Like, subscribe, and touch my bells and buttons. Thank you, Zen Pro Audio, for the juicy mic. I love all of their things audio. Check them out if you need anything for your podcast that you're probably starting, because podcasters are essential workers in Los Angeles. Thank you, Better Phetasy, for the research. We cannot do this without Better Phetasy. Follow Better Phetasy at Better Phetasy on Twitter.com. If you'd like to sponsor our show, reach out to us at weeklydumpsterfire@gmail.com. We have openings and would love to hear from you. Thank you, Sammy Flaps and Folds, for the beautiful not to scale diagram of the vulva owner. And you can follow Sammy and send her your manifestos on Instagram or Twitter.
Thank you, Bridget.
You can follow Maggie at Phetasy.com. It's the only place she appears. I can't talk tonight.
What about my artwork?
Thank you, Maggie, for your artwork.
I thought the aliens.
Maggie's in charge of the monoliths all over. When did you go to Romania, Maggie?
You know, I fly under the radar.
You did disappear
She
for a
has
couple
a
days.
private jet.
Yeah. Maggie's really like a billionaire. She's just pretending. It's like that.
Keeps her humble.
No one ever asked me if I was rich.
Thank you, Bridget. We obviously couldn't do this without you, so good job.
Thanks. I try. Well, we'll see you next week, folks. This has been your dumpster fire for the weeks of November 22nd to December 5th. I'm Bridget Phetasy. Now make me rich. I don't know.